game? Is it the Bucs or the Packers?
I think it's the Tampa Bay Bucks. Look, we know this is going to be a tremendous matchup, and I'm not going to take shots at the Green Bay Packers and making my argument, but I'm going to prop up what I see from the Tampa Bay Bucks in terms of response to adversity. New Orleans Saints comes to mind, and improving and changing how they go about their business since that Week 9 loss to the Saints. If you look at it, it's really this simple. We have two of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, but one of them has figured out the formula, the calculus, the algorithm in which he can grab everything around him and aggregate that to ultimate success. That's why Tom Brady sits with 6 rings and Aaron Rodgers sits with 1 ring. That's just reality. That's not a shot. But if you start to look at individual parts, you start to realize that Tom Brady has a more prolific offense. At least he has more weapons than even Green Bay does and Aaron Rodgers has at his disposal. The Bucs have a better defense than the Packers, especially when it comes to taking the ball away, the best in the NFL in terms of takeaways. So when you start to add it all up, you have the quarterback who's better prepared, or at least has better success in this moment. You have a team that has all of these weapons, and when fully activated, look, they didn't even have a good game and scored 30 points against the New Orleans Saints. I can hear the comeback right now. Well, the Saints had 4 turnovers. I just told you, their defense is the best in the NFL in forcing turnovers. So they have the edge everywhere I look, and whatever you want to get in terms of an edge from actually performing and playing well against them earlier this season. All of that adds up to me in a game that could be a pick'em. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
I respect it. Obviously, I'm going to go Pack go on this one. The Bucks, they're just hit or miss for me. If you think the Bucs are going to win, the Bucs are going to win because of their defense. That's what it has to come down to. Tom Brady, 54% completion percentage last week, 55% completion percentage a week before. 2 of his 3 lowest completion percentages have come in the playoffs. So when I look at the Bucs, it's not going to be their offense for me. I mean, Mike Evans held to 1 catch. Gronk held to 1 catch. AB's not even playing this week. Scotty Miller held to 1 catch. Heck, Chris Godwin had to lead the team with 4 catches last week from the receiver position, and he had the most drops the week before. I don't know what I'm going to get from these Bucs, and I'm not trusting that the Buccaneers defense is going to be able to do to Aaron Rodgers what they did the first time. So I would honestly be a fool to come up here and say that I think the Bucs will win because they won the first time after what happened to me last week when you embarrassed me on my Buccaneers Saints take. So I'm learning from my own idiocracy, and I'm switching this time around. But let me give it to y'all like this. The Bucs realize, or they should realize, the only way that they can win this game is if they can be balanced, run the ball, and pass the ball. They should realize that. But here's the problem. People at home, Marcellus, my brother, read into the details. The Bucs quarterback coach, Clyde Christensen, former quarterback. The Bucs offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, former quarterback. The Bucs head coach, Bruce Arians, former quarterback. The most powerful man in the Bucs organization, Tom Brady, their quarterback, current quarterback. So they're going to get into this game realizing we got to be balanced, we got to be balanced, we got to be balanced. But I think they're going to revert back to all of their natural ways, which is seeing the game through passing the ball, passing the ball, passing the ball. And you're not going to outshoot out Aaron Rodgers in Aaron Rodgers' home stadium.
Packers win this game, and it's not even a conversation. It's not because you can talk about their MVP quarterback. We can talk about that. We can talk about how the Bucs are an up and down team. We can also talk about that. But I remember coming on this show a few months ago, my very first time on the show with my brother and with Marcellus. We were doing our thing, laughing, joking, kicking it, having a good time. And y'all asked me one question. Y'all talked about Aaron Rodgers, and is he really that confident with some of his responses in the very beginning of the season? And I said, this man oozes confidence. This man breathes out confidence. This man is the embodiment of confidence. That confidence has not left. Aaron Rodgers is unstoppable. Yes, I played in Tampa Bay last year. I was on that defense. I know Todd Bowles. I was with BA. I get it. Their defense is really, really good. But I've got a very simple question. Who's going to guard Devontae Adams? Who's going to guard Devontae Adams? Nobody. We can talk about Carlton Davis. And yes, he shut down Michael Thomas, even though Michael Thomas was really playing all injured all year. We could talk about Sean Murphy-Bunting, their cornerback who got an interception last week. We can talk about all these guys. But who's going to guard Devontae Adams? Who's going to stop Aaron Jones? Who's going to – I mean, there's so many players on this Green Bay Packers offense, but it all starts and it all stops with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, you can't stop him.
Man, See, I was trying to be nice. Man, damn. All this therapy talk I've been having, all these segments, I try to go to my higher angels. Now, I got to cut you. Okay, here's the thing. Who's going to guard Devontae Adams? We're all former players. I hate when I get on TV, I can't curse and say it like I said it. Oh, who going to guard Devontae Adams? Let's go back to the defensive coordinating meetings. Who going to guard him? Hey, man, he going to guard himself. Last time we played him, 6 catches, 61 yards. Somebody was guarding his butt and guarding him well. Oh, no, who gonna stop Aaron Jones? Hey, he going to stop himself. 10 carries, 15 rushing yards. Excuse me, Dougie Fresh. Ain't nobody scared of these dudes. We already saw them, and we already shut them down because we have a better defense than them, and we take the ball away from them. And don't say, oh, well, then they got Aaron Rodgers. How about the Buccaneers ranked second in the NFL with 125 quarterback hits this season? So we're going to get after the quarterback, and we have success against your star players. I love this show, and I'm getting double-teamed right now by the Acho brothers. And it's funny because I didn't know that my boy Emmanuel Acho was such a Packers fan. When the Saints lose, all of a sudden he got to convert all that energy because energy can't be created or destroyed, just transferred. So he got to transfer all that Saints, damn it, to the big Green Bay Packers in 1 week. That bandwagon got heavy, and a high-top fade just jumped on it right now. But I'm not going to allow this, not at all. Aaron Rodgers, who I'm not trying to take a shot. Oh, all right. Man, smoke one of them. I told you I got to cut you. Get your butt off the screen. Why?
Hey, one Acho still standing.
Get your butt off the screen. Oh, he back. But his blood on his suit, if you can see that right now. Let's talk about the fact that in the Week 6 matchup being real, that was the worst loss for the Packers all year. Fewest points scored by the Packers. Most points allowed by the Packers. And now they're one of 5 all-time Packers teams that lose by 25 points with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Why does that matter? Because Aaron Rodgers has been in this position before, and when he's losing to a team by 25 points in the regular season, he doesn't beat them in the postseason. I talked about that before. To the Cardinals, 49ers, Buccaneers, we'll see this game. The last nugget is, hopefully this just lets y'all know, this is a conversation that Sam said it wasn't. Since 2010, there have been 9 instances of teams meeting again in the postseason after a beatdown in the regular season like this one, 25 points. In all 9 instances, the team that won the regular season won, they won the postseason one. Acho, it's all good. You want to stay on that side, but if you want to hop over here, it's a little room on this Buccaneer boat, brother.
So let me chime in real quick. Let me say something. Because that game was a blowout. It was ugly. But there were some good moments. Marcellus Wiley, you said it, so I will now follow up, not telling your business. You talked about your engagements a couple times.
Yeah.
Now, I would assume some of them probably ended poorly.
To them, yes, for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
But to them, some ended poorly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm assuming they started well. They would have had to.
Damn, she fine.
Fantastic. Oh, they started great.
She fine. Who that is?
We got to remember,
Yeah.
the Packers game ended poorly. But against the Bucs, it started great.
Oh, that's
Aaron
true.
Rodgers,
That's true.
10 plays down the field, 3
That's true.
points.
Good point.
Next possession, 11 plays down the field, 7 points. Packers are up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. It started great. The problem was, like your relationships prior to the last one, it ended terribly.
Okay.
But the thing about it, Marcellus, just like you did, you learned from the past. And you figured out how to sustain the good moments into a marriage. I think Aaron Rodgers has learned from the past. He'll figure out how to sustain the good moments into a championship victory, leading him to the Super Bowl. So I understand it started great and ended bad for Aaron Rodgers the first time. But this second time around, he's going to get it fixed.
Strong right there, boy.
Here's the thing I love about Tampa Bay. They're the team that everybody wants to get behind. They're hot. They got Tom Brady. They got Antonio Brown. They got Vita Vea. They got Ndamukong Suh. They got JPP. They got Shaq Barrett. They got all these guys. But they're also super inconsistent. They are probably the most inconsistent team in football. And I say that because you watch the film. I watched the film. I've been in the locker rooms where after a game, BA will put up the mental errors and the mental assignments, and I have a sheet full of, in college we call them NOSs, not our standards. A sheet full of guys. Not our standards. Guys who have no business being on that sheet. Tom Brady on that sheet. Mike Evans on that sheet. These are your leaders who are on that sheet. And so, yes, Tampa Bay has looked amazing. And I understand, Marcellus, where you're coming from. Look at the
the Bucs will win because they won the first time after what happened to me last week when you embarrassed me on my Buccaneers Saints take. So I'm learning from my own idiocracy, and I'm switching this time around. But let me give it to y'all like this. The Bucs realize, or they should realize,